This is the talk of the youth ministry on October 28th. In case you didn't make it, this is to fill you in on what we talked about. So the basic theme of what we're talking about today is how to be a saint. And I think sometimes we think how to be a saint means you got to do something. You got to pray like 10,000 times a day, or you've got to go and serve people in some foreign country, or you got to have this amazing love that is just incredible and amazing and way beyond anything normal people would do. And yeah, those are attributes of saints. Yeah, but it doesn't start there. I want to talk about where it starts. And to go with that, I want to go with an old story, old motif, I guess, that we know. It's the princess who's stuck in a tower, right? So she's stuck on the room at the top of the tallest tower in this grand castle. And, there's a dragon outside guarding it. And you got this mote of fire, all this stuff. Think like Shrek or something like that, right? So she's stuck up there. Now, while she's stuck up there, she's got some great food. And she got a very comfortable bed. And she has this perfect view of everything that's out there. But she's stuck in the tower. So, there's kind of some perks to being there, I guess, if you could call them perks. But she can't live her life. She's not with her family. She's just isolated and alone. This is a really great image of who we are as sinners. Because as sinners, we build ourselves castles, and these castles entrap us. They have these great thick defenses, and they entrap us from breaking out and being what God intended us to be, from breaking out and living the life of peace, fulfillment, joy, happiness, meaning, purpose that God intended us to have. So what happens? Prince Charming comes, right? And he makes his way across the moat, slays the dragon, goes all the way up the tower, knocks on the door, opens it up, and says, "Princess, I'm here to save you." What's the idea? He's here to save her, take her back to her father's kingdom, back to the king. And again, she's going to find the joy of being with family, the exhilaration of love, all these great things that are going to happen when she goes back to her father's kingdom. But I want to kind of put some different endings to this story, because that's great unless you actually like the view in the tower, and you like the food, and you like that bed. Okay, so this is maybe sinner exhibit 1A, whatever you want to call it. This first sinner exhibit is the sinner who is stuck in their castle. Now, look at the castle. It's guarded by the devil. They've given in to the devil's lies and ideas. And so they search for happiness, but not going to search for happiness back in their father's kingdom. They're perfectly content in their little cell. It's an incredible thing if you think about it, but we do it all the time. They can look out the window and see the beauty of the sunsets. They can receive the food and taste the excellent deliciousness of this food. And it's great for a time, and then it passes. And every happiness is fleeting in this castle, because it comes and it goes, it comes and it goes, and there's nothing lasting, nothing permanent. And eventually, maybe, I don't know, there's something missing, but they don't want to leave the tower. Why? Because it's comfortable there. They like it there. There's no really stretching of themselves. There's no personal growth. Instead, they can stay in their sins and find pleasure in things other than God. It's a fleeting pleasure, but perhaps it's what keeps them going. Now, Prince Charming comes, who's obviously a symbol for Jesus, comes, binds the dragon, goes all the way up, and knocks on the door and says, "Come." And she's like, "No, I want to continue doing this." That's sinner 1. All right, sinner 2, Jesus makes his way up, knocks on the door, opens it up, and he says, "I'm here to save you." And the princess says, "Well, that's really awesome and great and courageous, and I'm so glad you did that for me, but I don't deserve to be freed." So the first one was in the castle because they chose to be in the castle. They wanted to be there because they enjoyed it, even though the fleeting was not fulfilling. Even though the castle was not fulfilling, it was fleeting. The second one says, "I don't deserve to be saved. I want out of the castle. I want to go back to my father's kingdom. I don't deserve it, though. Why? Because of what I've done, the sins I've committed, the choices I've made. And maybe I chose to do something very serious, or maybe it's I was tricked into it, or I found myself down this path and I don't know how. But whatever, for whatever reason, that's great and it's good for Jesus to go save people. I'm just not one of those people. That's an absolute lie. That's an absolute lie, because Jesus came in there to that castle and can take her right out. It's up to her to choose to be saved. It's up to her to choose to be saved. Whether she can trust in his mercy to say, yeah, I know you did that. God knows everything. I know you did that. I know you committed that sin, but I'm still here because I'm not here because of the sin. I'm here because of you, because I want you. This is Jesus' message to you. If you're in that category, he wants you. Why? Because he loves you. He made you because he loves you. That's it. Did you sin? Yes. And he took care of it. Not that it wasn't hard or whatever. I don't want to make light of this, but he didn't have to do this. He chose to do this for you. Third category. Third category is kind of different, but I think a lot of us can relate to it. So, Prince Charming makes his way across the moat, defeats the dragon, goes all the way up the tower, knocks on the door, opens it up, and there's the princess in all of her beauty. And she has this great wardrobe in addition to all the other things, and this makeup and hair stuff, all this great stuff to, beautify herself. But she has a broken mirror. And every day she is trying to try on some new outfit, do some new hairdo, make something new so that one of these days, she's hopeful, one of these days she'll finally look into that mirror and see something beautiful. The problem is it's broken, and she doesn't realize how beautiful she actually is. And so when Prince Charming comes up there, he says, come. All you have to do is choose to come out of this room, and I can save you and take you back to your father. And she says, no. That was great. It's so wonderful that you did that. I'm so grateful and happy. It was very courageous of you to do that, but I'm not worth it. I'm not worth saving. I don't want to be here. I don't deserve to be here, but I'm not worth saving. How many of us are in that boat? Maybe it is a girl who is focused on fleeting beauty and says, I'm not worth saving because of that. But it's so much deeper than that for most of us, if not all of us, that it's, for some reason, I just don't feel worth saving. And it comes back to this. The fact that he made you. And when you fell, when you sinned, you were worth this to him. You were worth this. Not because he had to give it. He never had to save you. He wanted to. So what category do you fall in? Are you the person who doesn't really want to follow Jesus because you like the things of the world? And following Jesus, walking out of that castle, requires you to give those things up? Or are you the one who doesn't want to follow Jesus because you feel you don't deserve it? You want out, but you feel you don't deserve it. Or are you the one who says, I'm not worth saving? I want to follow you, Jesus, but I'm not worth it. Where do you find yourself? And what I encourage you to do, a little prayer exercise. Imagine yourself in that castle, and this castle is your past choices or whatever is locking you up in this place. And imagine Jesus coming in, defeating the devil, the dragon that is telling you that you can't be free, defeating him, coming all the way up the tower. Jesus comes, opens up the door and says, I've made a way across that moat. I've defeated the dragon. I've come all the way up to you. All you have to do is choose to walk with me, and you're free. It's a straight path back to your Father, back to everything you want, back to fulfillment, peace, happiness, joy, meaning, purpose. It's all there. You just have to make the choice. The prayer exercise, imagine that. And then offer to Jesus. You can put your hands out, offer to Jesus what it is that stands in the way of you following him. Maybe it's your attachment to the beautiful things of this world. Maybe it's your attachment to the guilt that you can't let go of. Maybe it's this attachment to this idea that you're not worth it. Whatever it is, these things are not true, and they're in your way. But give them to Jesus. Ask him, take these away. He will. Then after that, make the choice and follow him. And make the choice every day. How do we make that choice every day? It's like a marriage or a friendship. You choose to be a friend. You choose to be a husband or wife every day. You choose to pray every day. You choose to make time for God every day. It's not complicated. It just requires perseverance, right? You make time to pray every day. You make time to study the Bible every day. You make time to go to Mass when you can, if not every day. And you grow in that relationship with the Lord. Go to adoration. Incredible moments happen in adoration. Make time for that. And that's kind of that journey back. Maybe you've chosen to leave those things, but you're not quite to the Father's kingdom yet, because it's hard to make that journey back to God. Because the comfort of that castle calls. It's hard to make the journey. It's carrying a cross. And it's so easy to want to leave this and go back to the castle where, yeah, you're confined, but you're comfortable. But this stretches you. It forces you to love more than you've ever loved before. It forces you to give more than you've ever given before, to the point where you give everything with Jesus. But that's the beauty of it. And the amazing part of it is that if we give, if we live like Jesus, then yes, we'll die. Maybe not physically, but we'll die in the sense of my life is about others, my life is about God. But that's exactly where you will find your peace, happiness, fulfillment, your love, meaning, purpose. You'll find it. And that's what he came to save you for. To be with him and to find all that in the Father's kingdom. And it requires this, coming out of that castle, carrying that cross every day of love and prayer. But if you can do it, and you all can, by the grace of God, you most definitely can. Just ask him to help you. He'll be there. It's what he wants. And you'll see the beauty, the peace, the happiness, the joy, and the fulfillment that he wants for you.